Welcome to the Keeping You On Stage podcast. Join us as we dive into the vibrant world of dance, sharing our insights and experiences while spotlighting the incredible talents within our community. Each episode features engaging conversations with guests who bring their unique expertise and stories to the table, enriching our understanding of this beautiful art form. Our motto, Keeping You On Stage, drives our mission to celebrate and uplift dancers of all backgrounds. Whether you're a beginner, a seasoned performer, or a passionate enthusiast, this podcast is your backstage pass into the dance world. Tune in and let's keep the spotlight shining bright.
She's a performer, a teacher, a leader, a future nurse, and someone who has walked through difficult seasons and come out stronger, physically, mentally, and emotionally. Today, we're honored to welcome Aspen Brown. Aspen started dancing when she was 3 years old and has been dancing for 17 years and counting. She danced on Weber State Dance Team for 2 years, and she is continuing her dancing at Millennium Dance Complex with their Boom crew for her second season. This year, she is an assistant director for Boom alongside Jeffrey Luisia, as well as teaching at EDC and UDA. She is finishing her nursing degree this upcoming year at Weber State University. Her goals are to help dancers spread awareness and navigate themselves through the impact an injury has on an athlete's mental and physical health. Please welcome Aspen.
All right, Aspen, welcome to the podcast.
Yay, thank you.
So, we just hired Aspen as our new teams and studio sales rep.
Thank you. I'm excited to be a part of it.
And honestly, for the teams to be able to interact with you, I think it'll be awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited.
How and when did dance first enter your life?
So I started when I was 3 years old. I went to a little studio in Harriman called Illusion Dance. And then I competed recreational dance until I was 8 years old. And then, I just been dancing ever since. So I did competitive dance from 8 until I graduated high school. During that, I went to middle school dance company while I was in competitive dance. And then I also did my high school dance company. And then I was vice president my first year and then president my second and third year of the team too. So then ever since then, I went to college, did college dance. And so it's been a part of my life, my whole life. So that's all I know. But yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your dance company experience. So at your high school, they were separate.
Yes.
Tell us about dance company.
So I had the option to either do dance co or drill, and then I decided to stick with dance co because I knew the coach. She was actually my hip hop coach at my studio. So I was like, I'm familiar with her, and I also wanted to stay in studio dance at the same time. So I chose dance company, and I fell in love with it. It was amazing. My high school was a first year school, so I was the first year to go all 3 years through it. So brand new. Our company was small in the beginning, and then it just grew from there. And we did 2 concerts, so a spring concert and a winter concert, and we competed at like a Shakespeare festival, which I thought was cool and different. And it was in Cedar City. The way that we had our choreographers do like Hamilton or whatever it was crazy. It was so cool. And it was also through COVID year too. So we had we professional filmed one of ours and like ended up winning with the film. It was so cool, like how we did it. And it was definitely a different experience, but I loved every part of it. It's definitely, Zoe pushed me to the dancer that I am today for sure. So it was really cool. Gave us a lot of opportunities to like choreograph and things like that. And so football games, basketball games, that was always so fun to be a part of like the school community. So that was cool. But I loved it. It was awesome.
So after high school, you became a member of the Weber State Dance Team.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Is that something that you wanted to do like all when you were in high school? Is that like your goal, or was it just something that somebody approached you and was like, hey, you should try out?
I knew that I always wanted to dance and out of high school. I didn't know exactly what that meant. I did like a small gig with my studio where I went to LA and like filmed a little music video, and I was like, maybe I want to do some industry stuff. But I knew that I once I got to like my junior, senior year, I was like, okay, I need to figure out what I want to do with dance. And then looked at schools. I was like, UVU's really good, Weber's really good, BYU's really good, but I just didn't know like what place was meant for me. And then I actually ended up taking a master class from Erica, the coach. I think it was my senior year with my best friend, and I was like, wait, this is so fun. We went down to Weber, we took their class, and we just like fell in love with the team dynamic. And so we're like, wait, maybe this is what we should try out. So that's what I ended up doing, was trying out for Weber. And yeah, I ended up making it and I fell in love with it. It was so cool. I mean, just like being a little girl, being like, these teams are so cool. I've always wanted to do this. And then being able to do that was just a dream for me. So it was so cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So college dance is kind of a whole different level.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's pressure, precision, and you had performances constantly, right?
Mhm. Yes.
Or was it
Yes.
just something like you were just working towards nationals or something like that? So
Yeah, so our season is always packed. In the beginning, we'll start with like game day stuff because it's heavy on the football games and you have to be like the perfect picture of what you represent your school. So you want to make sure that everything that like your sidelines, what performances that you're doing at the games are perfect. So we practice that for a good few months before, the games are over. And then we go straight into basketball, volleyball games. So we're always practicing game day, but then they're switching it this year, but we did NDA, which is one of the college competitions that I competed at. And so we ended up doing a concert before we went to NDA. So we did a lot of student choreographed pieces. I choreographed pieces for the full team, and then we practiced that, and then we did that right before we started learning our nationals routines. So there's always somewhere where you're working on something. But this year they have it switched because there's another competition. It's called UDA. They're competing at that this year. So they'll do a nationals and then they'll do their concert. But for me, it was flip-flopped. And then we did worlds after too. So that was crazy. And that was like the biggest turnover. It was like a week after nationals. So we came back from nationals and then we did like finals and then we left and then we did worlds. It was crazy. It was literally the craziest like month of my life, but it was probably the coolest month of my life.
being on a college team, was that hard for you, or were you just along for the ride and it was exciting?
I feel like it's similar to studio in ways, but it's definitely a lot more load than like what I was expecting at first. But I think I was just so excited to be a part of like something so cool and like be a part of such a high like caliber of dance that I was like, keep giving it to me. I want more. Like this is so cool. And so I feel like me switching to like what I'm doing now was more of like a big switch of what like Weber and what industry life is like. But yeah, it was a lot. We had 2-a-day practices over like fall break, spring break, just practicing for nationals, but it was all worth it. That's what we would always say, was the work is worth it, because we came home with crazy titles, so it was awesome.
One of the ones that I watched, like one of the routines that I
Mhm.
watched on Instagram, probably more,
Mhm.
was, oh my gosh, was it a Prince song or something?
Yes, that's
Were
what they
you
did
on that
last year.
team? That was
No,
fun.
that was my first year with crew, so
Okay.
I
What
wasn't.
was the one that you were on?
Um, yes, so my last year was one called Entertain Us. And then, yeah, that was our hip hop piece. And then the one before that, we did like a remix version of some different songs. But yeah, they were all of them were crazy. They were all wild. But that's the one. Entertain Us was the one that we took to Worlds and competed Team USA national hip hop
Now I'm
team.
gonna have to look.
I know I've seen them, but I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, now that I know specifically like which one,
Yes, it's
And then you have to tell
crazy.
us where you are.
Okay, I mean, I think I've never been to a cooler competition in my life. Like, just meeting people from different countries and getting to like, we do this like trade thing. Sorry, I'll go on a tangent, but we like meet. There's a day that we have like opening ceremony and closing ceremony, and all the countries come together and we do like a trade. And so people on like Team Mexico, this is like cheer and dance, will come together and they'll like trade like these huge sombreros for like a t-shirt or whatever. And so we all do like trade stuff like keychains, whatever. And like, I have so many things from, like, Japan or just, like, random crazy countries that we all just traded stuff, so it was so cool because they think we're so cool and we think they're so cool, so it's just cool to, like, meet new people, even people that don't speak our language, like, are just so excited to be there and, like, compete at the same caliber as us. It's so cool to, like, I don't know, it's just a different realm. Like, I think if I could say that anything is, like, the coolest competition I've ever been to, it would be Worlds or Nationals because it's just so cool to meet everyone around the world. So, yeah.
We in
Mhm.
this episode, we kind of he said something similar. It's
Yeah.
like we're all different, but
Yeah.
we're all the same.
Yes.
And so it's like, yeah, you're all different. Maybe you don't speak the same language, or maybe your style isn't the same,
Yes.
but we're all the same because we love dance and you share that love for dance.
Mhm.
And that just makes that connection. I think that is so fun that
Yes.
you can go and support each other and cheer each other on. That's it sounds like it had a lasting impression.
It did, for sure. I look back on, like, all the rings and medals, and I'm like, "This is the coolest thing ever." I literally would go back any day, like, that was the craziest competition. It was so cool. Yeah. So many different styles. They had an all-boy pom team, which is,
Really?
like, rare for Utah, like, you don't see that really ever. They're from Japan, and they were crazy. They were so good. So I'm just like yeah, I literally would just, like, when I'm bored, just watch, like, videos from Worlds and just be like, "This is so cool." Yes, it's so cool. Yeah, it was so cool.
What is
But
it called? Worlds.
it was called ICU, so, yeah, I'd so grateful to have the 2 years that I had, like, even just looking up to my brother, like, he's on Team USAG, and I'm like, "I've always wanted to be on, like, Team USA, that's so cool," and then we got that, like, my last year, I was like, "This is my dream," like, it literally was. I called him, like he's, like, the first person I called. I'm like, "Guess what? I'm doing this too, like, this is so cool, we both get to be on Team USA like that, it was so cool." But, yeah. Yeah, it was awesome. It was definitely a dream since I was a child, so yeah.
And your brother is, what did you say that he is, a power tumbler?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, he's crazy. He's awesome, he's my best friend, but yeah, he is insanely talented. Yeah, he's been repping Team USA for a long time, so that's why I was always like, "This is a dream to, like, be just like" what my older brother, of course, he's, like, my hero, and I just wanna be like him, so looking up to him for however long he's been on that and then getting to do that, like, with him was so cool. So
Do you, so you're going into nursing.
yes. Yes.
Did you start that when you started on the dance team?
Yeah, I did. There's this thing that we can do at Weber where they have, like, a point system where you get to get into nursing school. They do this thing called, like, a reapplication, point, so if I applied early and then I reapplied later, I would get, like, an extra point to, like, get into the program, and so I was like, "Oh, I'll just do that." So I decided to do that on my 2nd year, expecting to, like, not make it and then get in, like, the year later, and because I was only 19 at the time, and so I was like, "Oh, like, I'll finish my generals, like, I'm basically there, and then I'll get in," and I ended up getting an email right before I went to practice that I got in on my first try, and I was like, "Oh my gosh," like, that's I was so excited. I'm like, "That's so crazy." Like, I am on the team still, so I'm like, "I don't know how that's gonna work." But I ended up sitting down with my coach, and I was also injured at the time, so it just worked out that I was able to, like, do the last semester. It was my spring semester, so I was able to do that and then just continue nursing after I was done dancing at Weber, but yeah, I started my last semester, and it was also the semester of Worlds, so it was, like it was crazy. We went to nationals, and then I had to take my finals early because finals was over Worlds, so I, like, took them early and then left for Worlds, but it was crazy, but we've made it. We're here. Like, yeah, it was wild. Yeah, I was not I mean, I knew nursing school was crazy, and, like, I hear all the stories, and then I'm in it, and I'm like, "Yeah, it's true," and it's probably, like, even crazier than what people are saying, like, it's a lot, but it's rewarding. I have 1 more semester. I mean, I was deferred 1 because I'm not able to do clinicals in a brace, but yeah, and then I have my capstone, and then I'm done. Like, I'm ready. I'm there. I'm to the point where I'm like, I just wanna get my degree and just start, and but, yeah, I've met the coolest people along the way. Like, I will have friends in my cohort that I will be friends with forever. People that have always supported, like, my dance life and my nursing life. And that's hard to find these days, I feel like, to, like, someone to understand, like, how passionate I am about both, and so to have friends like that on my cohorts it's been so nice, and it's gotten me through for sure.
So, let's talk a little bit. I'm gonna kind of switch this up a little bit.
Okay.
Let's talk about your injury. So,
Okay.
you said that you were injured when you were on the team.
Yes.
Kind of tell us a little bit about that.
Okay. So I tore my ACL when we were learning our hip hop nationals my second year. So we had our choreographer come in, and it was day one of like 4 days. Like, I don't know. We have like a lot of set days that we like want to just get choreo done because we fly them out and whatever. So it's day one, and I felt really good about my 540. Like, I feel like that's a trick that has been like pushing its way into dance. And it's like, at the time it was kind of like newer. And so everyone wanted to get it, and it was hard and whatever. And so I ended up getting it and feeling good about it. And then he asked us who had it. And I was like, oh, I do. I'm like, this is great. And so I was in the part, and we landed with 2 legs instead of 1 leg. So we did 540 land. And then right when we land, we were supposed to like jump back to the front. So it was like land, jump. And so we were doing our first full out of the night, like the last thing we were gonna do, like first full out. And I'm like, so much adrenaline. I'm like, this is so cool. This is our nationals, whatever. Like, I was so excited. And then I did my 540, and I landed, and I went to jump back to the front. So it wasn't even the 540 itself. It was honestly like the landing into the jump, and my foot like didn't follow my knee, and my knee just twisted and dislocated. And I like fell on the floor, and I felt like so crazy, and but I wasn't in pain. Like, I was just kind of like, that was like so weird. Like, I don't know. I was just like, what just happened? Like, I don't know. And my coach was like, come on, you got it. And then the music stopped, and I was just like scooting myself off the floor. Like, what is happening? Like, this is so crazy. But yeah, she was just like, are you okay? And I'm like, I think I'm fine. Like, I just need a second. Like, I don't know. That just felt really weird. Like, I was honestly so confused because I've never been injured. I've never broken a bone. Like, I was like, I have no idea how to feel right now. Like, this is so crazy. And so I watched them run the full out, and then practice was over. And the funny thing is that my trainer had a baby that day. Like, so there was no trainer on at that time. So I didn't have like, it was crazy. It was like probably the craziest situations that you could have had. Like, no trainer. It was late at night. I'm just like, what's happening? Nationals hip hop. Like, it was crazy. But yeah, so at the end I stood up, and everybody was leaving, and my knee kind of just like swung through. Like, there was nothing like stopping it. And I was like, what? I'm like, this is the craziest feeling. And in the back of my head, I was like, something's wrong. But of course, I'm like, I'm fine. It's fine. I'm like, we're learning hip hop tomorrow. I'm fine. And my coach was like, I feel like maybe you're not. And I was like, no, like, it's okay. Like, I'm fine. So my friends like helped me walk to my truck. I had a truck at the time. And I just remember pulling myself up into my truck, and my knee just like fell into the side of the truck. And I was like, okay, maybe something is wrong. And I called my brother because he's also an athletic trainer. And so luckily, I'm like, what's happening? Like, I'm scared, Kaden, I'm scared. And he was like, just go home and ice it. We'll see how it is tomorrow. And I just remember going to the doctor the next day and we got x-rays, and the x-rays looked fine, but everything else had to go through Weber. So I was waiting for my trainer, and they had like a sub trainer. And so I got my MRI, but I was like, I'm dancing. Like, I am learning hip hop nationals. Like, I will do anything for my spot. So I just remember getting it taped, and they're like, you can't dance in your spot, but you can, because I couldn't, like, I wasn't fast, but I could move, you know? So the next day it was so swollen enough that I was like walking on it because everything was so big that I was just like able to walk ish. So I did that the next day for 8 hours. I was like moving on my leg and just doing the best that I could because I was like, I want to be back in my spot. And so I just remember I got the MRI the next day, and then I came back and I went to go get my leg taped. So I got it that morning, came back. Our practice was at like 3 or 4, and I was like, okay, I'm going to go get my leg taped. I'm going to do the same thing. And then I just remembered this new trainer who I didn't know at the time, so that also made it hard. But he was like, I got your MRI back. I'm like, no, you didn't. Like, I thought he was joking because I'm like, I just got it like a few hours ago. There's no way you got it back. And he's like, no, I didn't. It's bad. It's torn. And he said it just like that. And I was like, wait. I'm like, no, it's not. I'm like, you're joking. Like, there's no way you got it back. And then I realized that he wasn't joking. And that was like the big, like, I was like, well, you just told me like out of nowhere. Like, that's crazy. Like, I didn't know how to feel because my trainer and I were like really close. Like, she actually was really, really great with me. And I owe a lot to her. Like, we were really close friends, and we still are. I still text her all the time. And so to hear that and just to be like, kind of like, whoa, this is a crazy injury. Like, I didn't know how to feel. I didn't know, like, like, I was in the training room and I had some friends around me and they all heard it at the same time with me, so I think that was hard. But yeah, I was on Accutane at the time too, and so I think that also played a portion into it because, I mean, like I said, I've never been injured before, and, yeah, I don't know. I learned this in nursing school, but I didn't know that Accutane, it, like, does some calcification to your, musculoskeletal system, and so just it doesn't necessarily, like, make you weaker, but it, like, causes thickening and joint pain and things like that, and we also did CrossFit at the time, and so I would be, like, squatting the bar, and I just remember being in so like, just the bar and being my back was, like, in so much pain, so I knew that I was having, like, those side effects, and I told my derm that I was a dancer, but sometimes that means different things to different people, and so I do think that Accutane played a huge part into it too, so I definitely got off of it and was like, "No, I need to, like, be stronger and grow like what I had before," and so, yeah, I still have, like, back pain every now and then because I think, like, yeah, it is a crazy concept. I learned it in nursing after. I was like, "This is makes sense." I'm like, people it's actually a lot of people have torn their ACL being on Accutane or, like, been injured or just whatever because their body is just in pain and it causes joint pain and whatever. So I'm like, this the things you learn after you experience it is crazy. But yeah, it was a crazy experience. But we got back and I'll do it again. But yeah, that was my first one.
So you you obviously didn't get your spot in that routine, right?
So I had my spot and then when I knew that I was out, the alternate they, like, shifted her and other people took over my spot. So, that was really hard. We hadn't learned jazz yet, so I was never in jazz because we never learned it. And so I was like, "I wonder where I would be and what would happen if I was, like, in jazz." So that was, like, kinda weird to watch because I didn't really know the routine because I never learned it. But I think hip hop was really hard for me because I knew the moves and I knew my spot, and I was like, I knew I would be in that part, and that was really hard. I mean, obviously, I was supportive of my team, like, I am so proud of I thought, like, the girl that was in there, like, I she deserved to be in that routine, so I was really happy that she was able to take, at least anyone's spot, like, be in there to be in that routine, so that was cool to watch, but, I mean, it's always hard to just want it for yourself so bad, but I mean, it was a mental game for sure, and that was something that I had to learn the hard way, but yeah, it got better over time. So, yeah, it was something that I had to navigate through, and I'm still figuring it out, but yeah, it was okay in the end.
Well, because it was just so sudden. Like,
Yes. Like, dance is your life, and I think I was saying this the other day, but I was like, literally, you will do anything or, like, learn any trick to be in, like, a routine, especially competing as, like, a D1 collegiate athlete, like, what that's all you could ever dream about is being in that routine, being on that floor, and so like, even me being like, "Oh, I'm hurt," but I'm like, I'm gonna be in the routine." Like, in my mindset is like, "I will be in this routine." Like, I have to get back because that's, like, all you've ever wanted, and that's all you ever have, like, worked so hard for, and so the second that something is taken away from you so fast, it's like, I wake up every day and I do dance. Like, I wake up I teach dance, and I that's literally everything that I do every single day, and it's gotten to the point now in my life too where it's, like, even more in my life than it was before, and so it's like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I can't like, being able to just go from doing dance, dance, dance from the AM to the PM, and now I'm just like then I was just, like, watching, and I was like, "This is the craziest switch up of my life." Like, that was probably the hardest thing is the mental part of it. Like, the physical will get there, and you know it will, but the mental is like, "Will I ever get through this? Like, this feels so crazy." So, I feel like that's what people really don't talk about either too, because it just makes them feel weak and make you feel like less of a human if you're struggling mentally. But it's not, I learned that, and it's just, like, something that's a part of what you have to go through, and that was a hard thing to learn, but we made it through. But, yeah, that was a big, huge thing that I had to figure out how to navigate my life and, like, do things that weren't just dance, but also I was at practice every day as a injured athlete and learning to, like, be a really big cheerleader for my team and, having to, like, go in was super hard, but like, got through it to the point where I could, like, cheer for my teammates and just be so happy for them and, like, excited, which I always was. It was just hard to be in the environment where I'm like, "Oh, I just wanna do it too," like, But then I learned that, like, I just wanna be there for my team, and if it is gonna be my last year because I was in nursing school, like, I need to make it the best year that I could make it, and I feel like I did a pretty good job at just, like, having a good experience and being able to go to Worlds and have a good experience, and so I did, and it was great, but
Well,
yeah.
so a lot of it is about like positive mental attitude too,
Yes,
like,
yes, yeah.
So tell us like what are some of the little things that you did to help yourself during that time?
How
Like
did you
how did you
yeah,
get to
get
that?
through that?
Yeah, I think my first experience and this experience is very different. Um, yeah, I feel like right now I'm in the best environment I could ever ask for to be supported. Like my coach, Jeffrey is like, I'm sure we'll talk about him. He's so great, but he is everything and has been so great with me. And I feel like um, my first time, it was my trainer. Like, we were really close before, and so it made it nice. Like, I remember calling her like right after she had this child and being like, something happened, and she just cried on the phone with me. Like, she felt for me, and she just made sure that I was okay. I mean, I was explaining this the other day too, but it's so hard for somebody else to understand what you're going through because they haven't gone through it, and it's like I don't fault anyone for not understanding. Like, my teammates, of course, they're gonna be there for me, but their life is still going, and it's crazy. You're on a college dance team, like, it is crazy. You're doing full-time school because you have to, like, and you're working, and so for the first 2 weeks, it's like all this love, and then it kind of, like, fades away because their life is crazy, and it makes sense, like, of course, like, I do not fault anyone for that. Obviously, I had, like, my best friends on the team that would reach out, and then I also had some really, really close friends on the cheer team that, yeah, they lived right by me, and so I was always with them. I was always and it's just because they understood. Like, I feel like some people were like, "Why are you always hanging out with them? Like, that's so random," and, like, um, I just was like, "You don't understand," because they were the first people that supported me, and like, I remember telling them they were there in the room when I found out, and I just remembered they were the first people that were there for me. They went and grabbed my car and, like, drove me to the hospital, like, they were there for me, yeah, so I'm like, they might not be loved by everyone, everybody has their different feelings, and, like, yes, we're on opposite teams, but, like, cheer and dance is really close, and it's always been really close, and so I just it was them, and then my trainer, and then obviously, like, my brother, he's my best friend, so he helped me out through a lot too, and he loves stuff like this, like, he's an athletic trainer, so he's like, "Let me help," and so that was great, but this year is just, like, a totally different experience, like, I've had the amount of support that I didn't even know was possible. Like, my coach has been everything. He has reached out, every day. Like, he will text me and be like, "What's your mental levels today? Like, how are you doing physically today?" And, like, he'll put me in the back of the room and be like, "Start dancing upper body," or, like, he'll put me in the front of the room and I'm in the chair and I'm doing everything I can and I'm helping choreograph, where I feel like it was hard to do at Weber because you're doing the same routines every day, and so it's not like I'm learning combos or anything like that, so I, like, already know the choreo, but I'm like, I know I'm never gonna be in it, so it's like, I'm just here to, like, support and watch, and so that, I think, was, like, almost a harder environment to be in just because of, like, what college dance is, and so, that was hard, but, yeah, my trainer was everything on Weber, she was so great with me, so, yeah.
Um so how long did it take you to get back to like full dancing?
Um
Wrist injury.
So they gave me a, like, 8 to 10-month recovery timeline, but I didn't okay, so I came back to hip hop dancing at, like, 4, which I felt comfortable enough to do so. I had great what my trainers were so great, and I just went up to the, stadium, which was, like, right by my, dance room, so I was at physical therapy a lot, and they said that they were comfortable with me going back to hip hop, so I was like, "This is great." But, yeah, so I came back to hip hop at 4 months, and then I tried to, like, ease myself into turning because that's, like, my favorite thing about dance, like, I love turns. Everyone knows that I just am such, like, a turner girl, like, that is my favorite thing, and so that was hard because it is my turning leg, and so I had to ease myself into that, like, from, like, a plie and, like, pushing my legs straight, that was really challenging for me to, like, get back into, when like turns came like super easy to me. So I'm like, this is so crazy. Like, am I gonna turn again? Like, so I came back to that around like I feel like the month that they gave me, like the 8-ish month mark. But yeah, I know my body the best, so I felt like I was comfortable to like be throwing what I was throwing. And obviously like it wasn't my 100% at the 4 months, but I was like actually getting there pretty good. And I feel like within 4 to 5 months my hip hop dancing was like pretty decent to like be back into the routines. It was like the tricks that I was more like, I'm scared to do that." But I actually ended up throwing all of my tricks, after I, like, fully healed because I needed to prove it to myself. And so I was like, I need to prove it to other people that, like, this injury isn't just something that, like, defines the dancer that I am. Like, I need to, like, show myself that I can do these tricks. And so there was, like, a few that I didn't throw until, like, I felt like I had to. Like, I was like, "I have this trick if you want me to do it." But then I went, with my coach now to an open gym, like, it was, like, right before my 2-year mark, and I was like, "I'm gonna throw my Webster and my back tuck and whatever," and I did them all, and I was like, I knew I could do this. It was just, like, a mental thing of being, like, scared that I could possibly get hurt again. But once you, like, feel like your body's fully healed, like, it's crazy. Like, you question yourself. You're like, even though you know you're healed, you're like, "Am I?" Like, but I was completely fine to throw everything. So I feel like after the 1 year, I was fully back my dancing self, and then, like, tricks and stuff, I just had to, like, get over the mental bump of being like, "You can do it," but yeah, so
Isn't that so crazy how even like without injuries,
mhm.
like the mental side
Yeah.
of dance is so real?
Yeah. I mean, all you do when you're, like, 3 years old is stare in the mirror at yourself in, like, these ballet tights and a Leo, and I'm already comparing myself, and that's just, like, the dance form that you grow up in, and then you go to compete, and it's like I'm literally competing to tell me if you liked my routine or not, and if you liked my routine more than the person after me or whatever it is. It is like a comparison game the whole time, so you have to just find, like go back to, like, "No, I love dance because of this. I love dance because of that," and that was really hard after my injury to be like, "Do I love dance?" Because right now I'm, like, at a hate-love relationship because it was so hard to me to, like, look at myself dancing and not compare myself as what I was already doing when I was not injured, and then being injured and being like, "You're not even a good enough dancer anymore." Like, that was a hard thing for me to just get over and be like, "You are, like, you can still dance. Just because you're injured doesn't mean you're less of a person, less of a dancer." Like, that was so hard, so but yeah, it really is just like a hard mental life, but it's okay, I chose this life, so I have to I just have to find it, but, I mean, everyone has their moments. Every dancer will tell you that they've had their moments because it is hard. We're all girls or guys that are just staring in the mirror and just being like, "Okay, well, was that perfect or not? Let's do it again and again and again and again." It's just a repetitive cycle, but we all started it for a reason, so we just have to go back to that reason. But,
Well,
yeah.
I think it'll help you, like, I mean, because let's be honest, like, we can dance our whole lives, but we're not going to be dancing at the
Yeah.
level that we're dancing when we're young. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like in our 20s, 30s. Right. And so this side of like all the tools that you've gained probably from
Yeah.
your injury, I think
Yeah.
will definitely help you later on in your life when you're facing
Oh, yeah.
the trials and things that you're going to face
Yeah.
later on. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I've just, like being patient with my recovery and like I know that you see like other people and I'm like, why am I not doing like the same? And like being like, oh, my body is different than their body and like every injury is different. And even like this injury compared to my last injury, I'm like, I'm doing so much better this injury than I was my last one. So that was a big like weird thing. I'm like, I'm already walking. Like this is so weird. I feel like I shouldn't be walking. So yeah, just being patient has like taught me a lot. And like it's also just helped me throughout life too, just being like, well, it's not my time, and so I'm gonna cheer on the people whose time it is for, and then, like, I'll have my moment when I get back, and I think that too, just, like, knowing like, seeing my friends being like, wow, she's so supportive of me," and, like, having that back from them, that's been the best thing, is just, like, knowing that I support them and they support me, and so I'll always have someone that, like my best friends are so great, they will always be there for me, and so I feel like that's why it's been so nice is to have that support system around me and know that we have each other's back, and so I feel like I'll always take that in, like, any situation if, like, I don't make an audition, but my friend does, like, of course I'm gonna clap for my friends, like, they deserve that as much as, like, anybody else does, so I think that that's really cool to see my friends, like, be like that for me, and then vice versa. It's been cool to like learn those things as I go throughout my dance life. But yeah, it's been awesome.
So, what led you to Millennium Dance Complex?
Okay, so this is kind of funny, but so after I actually didn't know that I wasn't going to try out for Weber until really late on. So we thought that we could make the nursing schedule work, and we had talked about it like at Worlds, because right after Worlds we had tryouts like literally a few weeks later. Like that was like the craziest month ever. Yes, it was wild. And so I was like fully ready to be like,
so sorry, backtrack.
no, you're good.
Was this after your injury or?
Yes. Yeah. So I was basically like fully healed going into my next tryouts. Because I tore my ACL. I got surgery on Halloween, and then it was like end of April when I could try out again. So it was like around the time where I was like, I'm feeling pretty good to like turn again and whatever. It was just like the tricks that I was like, ooh, you know me, like, you know I'm a trick girl, like, like yeah. But yeah, so I was fully planning on trying out for Weber and doing nursing at the same time. I was like, I want one more year to like just give what I wanted to give, because it ended the way that I didn't want it to. I wasn't planning on doing it because I made nursing school, and then I had that injury and I was like, okay, so I'm going to do it and whatever. And my coach and I had talked that we like worked it out. But then with talking to like the nursing directors and everything and having to take finals early, and just they've never had anyone take finals early before. We had like meetings upon meetings, and like I was like, we're gonna make this work. Like it just ended up not working. So I found out the day before. I had like a meeting with my coach, and I literally the day before tryouts I found out that I couldn't try out. And so that was really hard, because tryouts for Weber is actually pretty late in the year. It's like one of the last tryouts for dance teams. Like every college dance team has basically already had their tryout, which is at least how we did it the year that I was going to try out again. And so I was like, I'm screwed. Like, I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, I don't know what teams to try out for. And so I was just like, maybe this is my sign that I need to stop dancing and to just maybe take like a healing year and like finish school or whatever. And which was really hard, because I never ever imagined myself stop dancing. But I was just in such like a bad mental space with like who I was as a dancer anyways, because I'm coming back from an injury. And so I was just like, maybe this is what I need. And I don't know, I was just like in like a bad spot. So I took like a few weeks to figure out what it was. And I was already like upset that I couldn't try out for Weber. And like, I was like, maybe I don't even do nursing school right now, because I just like wanted to dance. Like, I don't know. I just remember I was like, I moved back home for the summer because my lease had ended. So I was with my mom, and then she went on a trip. And I just remember like scrolling on my Instagram, and just like this ad popped up for Millennium, and Millennium is a big studio. So I was like, like I've seen this place before, and I know that they took classes, but I didn't know that they had a crew. And there was like an ad that came up that they had their crew auditions coming up in like 2 days. I was like, oh, like I pressed save and I screenshotted it, and I was like, I don't know, like I probably wouldn't even make it. Like that was my mindset at the time. Yeah, so they do like drop-in classes, so any ages can come and take. They have their main one, their big one is out in LA, and like so many videos will come from there. That's like a really big studio out there. And so in Salt Lake, this is like the biggest studio in Salt Lake, or one of the biggest in Utah. And I've like seen crazy people come and teach classes there, but I was like, oh, I've never really like done that, because I've always been dancing every day anyways. And so, but I had no idea that they did a crew, which is this year we have 3 teams. And so it's split up into ages and like levels. And yeah, it's awesome. It's something that anyone can try out for. And so I was like, maybe I'll do this. I don't know. And I ended up like looking at it the night before, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it and just see what happens. And I didn't tell anybody. I didn't tell my mom. I didn't tell nobody that I was trying out, not even my brother. I was like, I'm not telling anybody, because I didn't want to like, I don't know, if I had a bad outcome, I was just going to like brush it off and whatever. And then I remember going, and my coach like stopped the music, and he was like, who are you? And I was like, I'm Aspen. Like I was like, oh, I'm terrified, like this is terrifying. And he was like, I just needed to say that your energy, like I can tell that you love dance. He's like, we can all feel it in the smile that you even have like right now. Like I can just tell that you love to dance, and I feel like you aren't even like taking this as an audition, you're just taking it for yourself. And I was like, you literally just read my brain. I literally just remember looking at him and being like, oh, I'm gonna cry. Like I literally love dance so much, and I just enjoyed the experience so much. Like, it was just so positive. We learned like 5 different routines, or like 4 or 5, just to like audition, and I was like, this is crazy, but this is like everything. Like, this is exactly what I needed. And I hadn't danced like that in so long. So we had like a break, and I remember calling my mom and being like, by the way, I'm trying out for this team right now and I love it. So I really hope I make it. She's like, wait, what? She's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, no, like I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye. And I just like hung up and took the rest, and I like fell in love, and I was like, I really hope that I make this team, because I just loved like how they interacted with everyone. Everyone felt so welcome, and they just did such a good job at like every style was so different. I learned styles that I was like not super comfortable with, and like that I hadn't practiced in a long time, because on college you don't have much time to do a lot of freestyle. And so industry is heavy on freestyle, and I was like, I'm terrified, like I don't know if this is for me, like, but they just made it such a cool learning experience that I was like, I need more of this. Yeah, I got an email finding out that I made it when I was actually with the drill team that I coached at the time. We were at their camp, and I like opened it up and I just started crying. And my team was like celebrating with me. It was so great. And I'm like, I don't even know if we all made it or what, but I didn't care. Like, I was like, the fact that I feel like I'm a part of something that like I loved so much, I was like, this is what I needed. To think that I was gonna like not dance again for a long time is crazy. Like, yeah, I say it all the time, but I owe so much to Jeffrey, just because I feel like he really did like have a big flip for me, and just my like mindset on what dance is. And like, I still have that now with him. So we've created like a really great bond, and yeah, crew is everything. It's been so great with them. So this is my second year.
So, and when you say crew, is that the boom crew?
Yes.
So tell us
yes.
about like your experience with that. I mean,
Okay.
obviously, like Jeffrey has just basically
He's great.
done so
Yes.
much,
Yes.
but I'm sure there's just all the people there. And, like,
Yes.
what is your day-to-day life like?
Yeah. So my first year crew was all just one big crew. We didn't have different levels. They've done it in the past, but I think they wanted to try again to just like have one big crew. Besides, like, they have like a kaboom crew, which is like little kids, and it's so cute. We came every Tuesday and Thursday, and it was from like 6 to 9ish. I want to say 9, but we always went later. Like, that was just what we always did. So for a while, we'll start just like basic training, and we'll bring in people. I taught sometimes. Last year and this year was kind of different, the way that we've done things, but yeah, we work on a lot of foundational stuff in the beginning of the year, just lots of different styles. I feel like last year it was super hip hop based, but we had like some jazz contemporary people come in. And now this year we've had like a good amount of different styles, and it's been so cool how we're doing it this year. But we also do like a showcase in May. So we'll start working on routines for that. And that was super cool, because I got to choreograph a piece for that. And that was like cool to just watch and see on different like people that I'm getting used to like knowing. And I thought that was fun. And we also do World of Dance. We tried out for World of Dance last year. They actually invited me and my friend on. The year that we tried out, they invited us to go with them like in a few months. So we got the invite, we learned the routine in a month, and then we left and competed. So that was crazy. We had like rehearsals till like 2 a.m. sometimes. Like, it was a lot of work, but the work is worth it. And I would have like clinicals that like wake up at 4 a.m. the next day. I'm like, 2 hours of sleep, here we go. Like, it's fine. But yeah, it didn't matter, because I just loved to be there. And yeah, so this year we're doing 3 different levels. I'm on one called X, which is our top level. It's like our company team. And there's only 10 of us. It's so great. And we do like all styles. They had voguing the other week. We've had, yeah, like contemporary. We're learning, and even just like being injured, like the people in the community will teach me like waving techniques and stuff like that, which I think is so cool. Just like hip hop that I'm like looking at from a whole nother point of view, which is like real authentic hip hop that I've always wanted to learn. And I think that that's so cool. And then we get a lot of job opportunities at Millennium. So Jeffrey or whoever will like book us for a job. And I've done some really fun, cool things. So I actually got injured at this last job, but this is my second season that I did something called Kuwahara, which is, it comes around in October, and it's like a thriller park, whatever. And we have like 6 different shows that we do. And so it's every day from 5 to like 9 or 10. And we did shows every single day for the whole month and then some of September. And it's like, well, I just think it's so cool to be doing what I love and also like having it be my job. Like getting paid to dance, getting like and being with my best friends, doing it at the same time. That was so cool. And like doing a lot of music videos that I never thought that I would do. And like something that was like kind of fun was I was on like a Studio C episode. I'm like, that was so, and it was just a good experience. Like they made it such a fun experience. And I'm like, I never thought that I would do things like this, but they bring in cool people. We had like Janet Jackson come into a class and like watch with one of her dancers. So yeah, we've had really cool different experiences. So that's why when I went to like the industry side, I was like, this is such a big switch. Like this is what I thought that I like pictured myself doing this as a little girl when I went to LA when I was like 10. And now I'm like, okay, this is what I always like have wanted and needed. And I'm so glad that I got to do Weber because that was like crazy awesome experience. And now I'm like back to like doing what I've always wanted to do and like doing the industry side of things and learning different styles. So that's what I love about Crew is because people think we're a hip hop team, which we are really hip hop based and Jeffrey is really hip hop based. But we also get to have like all these different things that we're learning and we bring in different choreographers every month to teach us different styles. And so that was something cool that I think we added this year. And he asked me to be his assistant director this year. So I've been able to choreograph and like be on the director side of things and help with scheduling. And that was crazy. He called me to ask for that. And I just remember, I guess I'm like emotional. Like I've just cried again. Like what? And I just remember like being like, are you sure? Like it's only my first year. And he's like, just saw something in me, I guess, that like maybe other people didn't and just trusted me with like everything. And I feel like we've created such a good bond because of that. And I've been able to do things that I never thought that I was able to do. And so I'm very grateful that I met him. And I feel like we'll always be close. Like Jeffrey and I will always have such a special bond. So I'm really grateful that I was scrolling on Instagram one day and just like was like, oh, let's see if I'll try out. And then now like it's my whole life. So it's crazy how that works and how small the dance world is sometimes. But yeah, I actually took from Jeffrey when I was like in studio. He came and taught a class and I was like, this guy's energy is great. I have like a video I showed him the other day. I'm like, this is literally me in your class, bro. Like, this is crazy. And he taught me at high school sometimes, but we were never close. And then when I went there and I was like, oh my gosh, I literally know who this guy is. And then, yeah, he had that whole like talk with me. And then it's just been great ever since. So yeah, I'm really grateful for them. They're awesome. I had explained to him previously before my other injury that like just my experiences and how hard it was mentally. And so he already knew that like he was like, wow, that's crazy. Like he would always say like college dance team is Olympic status. So he always thought that it was crazy. I'm like, it literally is. Like it literally is Olympian status, it feels like. And so he always thought that that was so cool. And I was always nervous to tell him that I was injured because that is something that like you just people will maybe hold against you, but he never did. And he was like, your scars are cool, and just thought that that was such a cool thing. And then I think when I ended up becoming injured again, he knew that I struggled the first time. And so I think him knowing and just being like so close with me, he was like, I just want to make this a good experience for you. And he's done a really, really great job. I don't ask him to, but he will just already jump on and just be like, how are you doing today? Or be like, why are you not moving? You can be doing upper body, and being like pushing me, even though like I didn't think that I could be pushed this way. So it's really nice to have him and all my crew friends. They've been so great. So yeah, it's been awesome. Yeah.
I wonder, has he had any injuries?
No, not that I know of. Yeah, but he's just a great human, like a really great person. I don't know anyone that has ever said anything ill about that man. Like he's just great energy. Always like he's so loud, just like so just crazy aura. Like everyone, he'll walk into the room and like he could change anybody's like feelings right away. So yeah, he's so great.
Is
Yeah.
he the one that like founded Millennium?
Yeah. Well, not Millennium, but Crew.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we have Coney that's over Millennium in Salt Lake, and then Jeffrey. His last name isn't Jeffrey Boom, but that's just like a nickname that he like got over time, and so that's why he calls it Boom Crew. So he goes by Jeffrey Boom, and so when people think of Boom Crew, they know that it's associated with him as well. So yeah, you absolutely have to meet him. You will love him. He's so great.
Oh, alongside all of this that you're doing, nursing Boom Crew, dealing with your injury, you are also a teacher.
Yes, I
So
am.
you teach at 2 places or just
Yes.
okay, so tell us a little bit about that, like, what you enjoy about teaching.
I've been teaching for a long time. I feel like I started when I was still in studio myself, and I started teaching there, and then now I'm teaching in Ogden and in Draper, and I love kids. I've always loved kids, and I think that's also why I went into nursing, just because I love children and I wanna go into pediatrics, but I feel like I still have teachers now that I look back on and I will text them all the time, and I'm like, "You were the reason that I am still dancing, like, you pushed me when I thought that I couldn't like, I needed to stop because school was so overwhelming," or whatever. And I'll still text him to this day, and even people like Jeffrey, I'm like, it really does just take one person that you see all the time to make such a big impact on, like, 1 dancer, 2 dancers, whatever it is. If I'm not reaching everyone in the room, my goal is just to reach, like, 1 dancer at least every day, and I think that that has been, like, the most rewarding part of teaching, not just, like, being able to share my love of, like, dance itself with other people. I think that that's so cool, and I think that like, body language of dancing is just such a cool experience to share with other people, and, like, you can create some beautiful things, but let alone just, like, sitting down with my girls, and I will always be like, "What's one thing that was hard today?" Or, "What like, tell me what you're thankful for Thanksgiving," with, like, my 5 and 7-year-old kids and my little boys crew or whatever it is, like, just getting to know them on a personal level, I think is so important, even if it takes, like, 5 minutes of your time in class because you see them every day, and that's what I learned with my drill girls when I taught drill last year. I see them every day, every morning when I'm like, "That's, like, hard, it's 6 AM," like, nobody really wants to be there at 6 AM, like, but we do it because we love it, and I feel like I really did make such a big impact with these girls because they had a performance last night and I went to it, and I just remember, like, hugging all of them and, like, one girl's crying, she's like, "I miss you so much," like, and I'm like, "This is what I want to do, like, this is why I do this because I want to be not only their teacher, but I want to be their friend, and, like, the most appropriate, like, best way is just to, like, sit down with them and be like, "You can talk to me on a dance level, but if you're struggling at home or at school or whatever it is and you don't feel comfortable to talk to anybody else, like, I can be that person for those dancers." And so I think that that's so important because not all dance teachers will be like that, but there'll always be a teacher that you feel like you can go to, and I had that growing up and I want them to have that too. I live an hour away from Ogden, and I will still go and teach them because I just love them, like, they are everything, and I can never imagine leaving them, like, I just have created such a good bond with all of them, the whole studio, that I'm like, "This is what I want," and I have girls coming up to me, texting me, or whatever it is, being like, "I'm really struggling with this, like, can you help me?" And I'm like, I want to be that person, like, I'm so grateful that they feel safe around me to have a conversation like that, so I think that that alone is, like, the best thing about teaching, and I never want to give that up. I always wanna teach and have that and, like, inspire those girls or boys or whoever it is to, like, if they wanna teach, they can be like that and, like, take at least something out of, like, what I'm doing as a teacher to, like, inspire them to take with them, so that's my goal.
Like you said, you are with them every day,
Yeah.
or multiple times a week.
Yeah.
You are that person that they are looking up to.
Yeah.
So why not create a positive, healthy relationship with them and
Yes.
like a healthy environment for them to be in where they
Yeah.
can feel loved and safe and
Yeah.
happy. You
Yeah.
know what I
No,
mean? Like, because
absolutely.
really, like, that is why we do dance. Like,
Yeah.
we don't go to dance to feel bad. Like, we go there, we dance
Yeah.
because we want to feel happy.
Yeah.
That makes us
Exactly.
feel. And
Yeah.
so the teachers, it's like I kind of compare it to like in a household. The
Yeah.
mom is who sets the tone of the house basically.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
when the mom is in a bad mood, everyone's in a bad mood. Like
Yeah.
everyone can feel it. You know
Yep.
what I mean?
Absolutely.
As a dance teacher, you're the one that sets the tone. So
Yeah.
if you're just like grumpy,
Yes. The kids notice everything.
we're kind of just like wrapping up. How do you hope you can, I mean, alongside with this, with teaching dance,
Mhm.
how do you hope you can help or inspire other dancers? Let's be honest, they're athletes
Yes. Yes.
who are battling injuries. What's one thing that you want to share with dancers?
I feel like this is something that I had to learn the hard way, but I'm like, don't let anybody tell you that you can't be upset about your injury because sometimes you have to be like you're expected to be this perfect person that is like going through something hard and then you're still going through it 9 months later and it is hard and that's something that you might not want to talk about or show. But honestly, I think that that's why this is so important because I needed to like I would look up things about dancers and their ACL and I wanted to know people's experiences when I first went through it. And there's not a lot of people that talk about it because it's not something that you want to talk about. And like I said, I didn't want Jeffrey to know that I was hurt because I didn't want it to be held against me. And I found out that he would never ever hold that against me. And so I think it's so important to like embrace everything that you're feeling because your feelings are so valid. And it is hard and you will get through it, but you don't have to feel like you have to shut yourself down and mask yourself of like what you're feeling. And I think that is so important about anyone that's feeling like an injury or not, that it's so important to talk about your feelings because you could be talking about it to somebody who's going through the same thing and you have no idea. And so that's what I've learned is that because I've become super like talkative about what I'm going through this time around, I've actually had a lot of people reach out to me who's also going through it that I had no idea. That is like, what did you do your first time around? Like, what are you doing now? What is different? What is better? And I'm like, this is so important to talk about because we can be preventing these things or we could be talking about how to get through mental health with an injury and nobody talks about it because it's not something that is like praised to talk about because it is a negative thing, but it doesn't have to be negative. So I feel like if I could tell anyone to talk about their feelings, especially their injury, is to share their experiences and to document it for themselves because looking back on my old videos of like even me a month ago, I'm like, I've had so much progress and I wouldn't know that I was like struggling so bad because every day is different. And then I look back and I'm like, I was struggling and now I'm doing a lot better. So if I'm not making an impact on somebody else that I'm telling, I'm making an impact on myself because I'm seeing my progress. So I'm not the greatest about talking about my feelings, but I'm learning that it is something that is so important to do, especially when you're in such a vulnerable state. So anyone who's injured, talk about your experiences because it's so important to get it out, to reach out to whoever else could be going through the same thing. Yeah.
And it's okay to be like upset.
Yes,
About
it is okay to be sad. That's so valid to be sad. Like, it sucks. It does.
What is your main piece of advice that you would want to share with young dancers who are aspiring either to be on a college team or want to be like a dance teacher or, want
Yeah.
to be dance for millennium? Is that what you
Yeah.
say? Like
Yeah.
first millennium?
Yeah. Or crew. Yeah.
Yeah, our crew. Like, what is your main piece of advice to these young dancers who are just dreaming?
I think anything that you want badly for yourself, you can get if you put your mind to it. I think that there's a lot of the times where I'm like, oh, these people are just given something or whatever, but it's honestly more of a reward if you work your butt off for it and you push yourself to get there. And I think there's always going to be auditions that you don't make. There's always going to be something that you don't book, and maybe your best friend books it, and maybe that's hard. But again, like, what's your place will be there for you, whatever it is. And so you just have to be patient with yourself. I feel like a lot of the time dancers will again compare themselves and then get in this mindset where it's like, oh, what even is dance? Why am I even doing this? But we all are doing dance for a reason and we're all here because dance is this is what I was telling my friend the other day, but it's like us dancers wouldn't be here if there weren't other dancers. And so why would not be supportive of the other dancers around us and for the things that we don't get? Because that's why dance is getting jobs and that's why there are things out there that people dream of becoming a background dancer or whatever it is that because other dancers are booking that. So maybe it's not your road to take, but be supportive of those around you because that'll always come back to you. And whether that is teaching and like making an impact on someone or if it's booking a job or making a team or whatever, be patient with yourself because if you set your mind to it and you actually really, really want it, you can achieve it. It just might take some time. And some people like that's what they have and it takes one chance and whatever. And like if that's freestyle for me, it's definitely going to take like it took more time for me to get comfortable with getting out of my collegiate like mindset. And so when other people, it came really easy, but I'm so supportive of those people. And I think that that's like so important is the dance community is so small. So be supportive of those around you and be patient with yourself because it is your turn, but it just might not be now.
Well, Aspen, what's next for you?
Okay.
Obviously, you're going to school to be a nurse.
Yes.
And even just like your personal goals. I think those probably kind of tie all
Yeah.
into dance.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, you are eventually going to get older. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yes. Yeah.
Like, yeah, tell us what some of your, what's next?
So once I'm healed from this new injury, I will probably do I don't know, I think I'm just, like, kinda seeing how my road goes with, like, coming back into dance and stuff like that, but I do wanna move out to LA eventually and just, like, start a dance career out there and possibly book with an agency and just be booking jobs, and that's always been the dream. Of course, like, I wanna dance for all these people, and I just think that that's so cool, and, but that's why I'm also doing nursing because there's a lot of time for dancers where you are working paycheck to paycheck if you're just a dancer because it is hard and you don't book jobs all the time or there's not a lot of jobs to book in certain seasons. So I think that's why nursing is so great is because I can do pickup shifts and like part-time nursing and have like a good job with dancing at the same time. And then I've always also want to be teaching, like even if it's once a week, like I always want to be teaching. And then I think once my body like is ready to be done, which is hopefully way, way far down the road with like kids and whatever, but I will always have nursing and I can look back and definitely put that into more of a full-time position. And I think I want it to be either like ER or pediatric or whatever it is. That's what I'm interested in. And then, yeah, just like continue to teach and have dance always be a part of my life, whether that's like even just being at the front desk at a studio when I'm like way old or whatever it is. Like I always want to be a part of like dance. I just think it's so cool. But yeah, I will have always just like nursing behind and things that'll help me push through. So I'll have paths to choose when they come.
Move into a fun little lightning round.
Okay. I'm ready.
Okay, so just tell us the first thing that comes to your mind.
Oh my gosh. I'm scared.
Okay, what is your go-to hype song before performing?
Oh my gosh. I feel like anything Tim's, like I always just she just calms me down. So
What is your favorite style of dance right now?
contemporary just
Okay.
because yeah, it has a soft place in my heart. Yeah.
What is your dream job if you couldn't dance?
Oh gosh.
Nursing. Like what
Oh
would you
gosh.
like I'll tell you, when I was a kid, I always wanted to be a marine biologist.
Oh wow.
And so, and even now, like that's something that
That's
that and I've
cool.
always wanted to own like a flower shop and
Mm,
arrange bouquets. Like
mm,
that's like if I wasn't doing what I was doing.
yeah. That's way cool.
So
What?
I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like I would still do healthcare and probably do surgery. I think that that would be really cool. Yeah, to do like cardiac surgery.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I actually think that that would be awesome. So maybe that would be my next in another life. But yeah, definitely surgery.
Okay, what is one thing people would be surprised to learn about?
I'm a helmet baby girl. I always say that. I don't know why I always say that. That's like my one like fun fact.
What is your most used item in your dance bag?
Gosh. Probably, like, my brush because now, like, my hair is always down and, like, industry when I was doing heel shows, whatever, and then I have really long hair, and so my hair gets tangled really fast, so, yeah, I have, like it's, like, the craziest looking brush in my dance bag because 'cause it's been through it.
What is your favorite snack?
Okay, so we have Whole Foods right by Millennium, and so I always get an Aloha bar, just like a protein bar, and then a yerba mate. I don't know if those are like the best energy drinks and they're organic. So yeah, I always have them with me at every practice. So I feel like maybe it's not the best, but I definitely have it like every day. So
If you could take a class from anyone in the world, who would it be?
oh, that is a hard question. Honestly, I just think that this would be a dream. Is like I've always wanted. I think Tate McRae's dancers are so cool, and I think that she just understands. And so if I could do anything with like any of her choreographers or dancers or whoever, I just think that I would fall in love with that aspect because she's also a dancer, so she just gets it, and her dancers have like such a good relationship with each other and with her, and I just think that that's so cool, and I know that they're like being treated so well in the dance community, and so I think that that would be like something that I would love to take from, or just take any part of anything from any of their choreographers or their dancers or her or whoever it is. I would love to do that.
Aspen, thank you so much for sharing your heart, your story, and your strength with all of us today. Your journey is such a reminder that dancers are strong, human, vulnerable, and unbelievably resilient. We can't wait to cheer you through your nursing school, boom crew, and everything you do next.
Thanks for listening to the Keeping You On Stage podcast. Join us every week for new stories and inspiration. Until next time, remember, we're here to keep you inspired, keep you motivated, and as always, keep you on stage. Happy dancing!